All right, hey everybody, welcome back. I hope you're all doing well. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for hanging out as always. So I owe you guys a few things today. First and foremost, I said I would update you guys on how Nationals went. I also owe you guys an updated deck tech for Vynnset. I found a few pieces, or I've been playing around with a few pieces that I had dismissed originally, and I'm finding some success. So stuff I wish I knew before heading to Nationals. But anyways, so I'll show you the new deck. I'll talk through some new tech and stuff like that. I also owe you guys a giveaway. So I've had a chance to complete some of the Shadow Box altars that I'm going to be giving away on the channel. And we're going to choose another winner today. So first and foremost, Nationals, it was so much fun. I had such a blast going up with, our local players here. I think 5 or 6 of us went up. Anyways, it was a blast. I brought Vincent because I wanted to have fun. I wanted to play a deck that I really enjoy rather than try to force something that's meta. And so for those reasons, it was a success. I did go 0-3 in the first 3 rounds of CC on Vincent. I got some really tough pairings. 2 Lexis right off the bat. So my first pairing was Lexi into Eric from Spark of Genius. Such a good guy. Really awesome game. A lot of fun. He was very, very friendly as he pounded me into the ground. But he drew so hot too. And the funny thing is, he actually intended on bringing Vincent, is what he told me, and he just grabbed the wrong deck box. So he had to throw Lexi together last minute, but he intended on playing Vincent. And I was the only Vincent registered at Canadian Nationals. So if he had grabbed the correct deck box and if he had registered a Vincent list, there would have been 2 Vincents at Canadian Nationals, and we would have been paired round 1. So that would have been a fairy tale story. Unfortunately, it didn't pan out that way, but we had such a fun game. Turn 0, I went first, did some setup. He did Lexi things and loaded, activated Voltaire, loaded an arrow. And he told me right off the bat, the first 2 cards so he pitched 1, activated Voltaire, loaded an arrow. Drew 2 off the top for his first turn. And the 2 that he drew off the top were 3 of a kind Rain Razors. So it started off pretty rough for this guy. And it didn't go so well. So anyways, but it was such a good game. He was such a good guy. So I had a lot of fun. I was hoping after I lost to Alexi that I might dodge another Lexi, but right away got paired into another Lexi. Round 2, lost that one as well. A little bit closer. I was able to get them down a little bit, but anyways, third round was into a Rhinar, one of the only Rhinars at the 0-3 table. Very close. I got him down to 1, and it came down to me not drawing a blue. So I needed a blue to close out the game. I just needed to push like 1 unpreventable damage. And unfortunately, I kind of bricked where it mattered most. And it allowed him to set up a Blood Rush Bellow turn and push some real damage the next turn and close out the game. So didn't quite go my way, but again, really fun game. Turned things around a little bit in draft. I went 2-1 in both of my drafts. So I ended the day on 4-5. But all of my wins came from draft. Pack 1 from my first draft. So the first pack I opened for the day, pack 1, pick 1, was a Cold Foil Phantasmal Footstep. So I was quite happy with that. Forced Prism, and it went well. So 2-1, and the third game was very, very close, the one that I did drop. So that was a success as well. Cold Foil Phantasmal Footsteps was an amazing thing to see coming from a pack. So happy about that. Second draft, I also didn't quite force, but I was past some pretty strong Prism pieces, so went Prism again, and again went 2-1. The following day, ended the day 4-5, dropped so that I could play in the PTI the following day. Lots of Flesh and Blood those 2 days. It was quite the boot camp. It was a lot of fun. Decided to register Vincent for the PTI again, because again, it's my deck and I wanna have fun. 7 rounds for the PTI, and I went 3-4, but I did concede a game. That I probably would have won in a turn or 2 if we had some more time. But anyways, I'll get to that. So I can't exactly remember how the day went, but one really interesting matchup. There were 7 unique heroes that I paired into. So that was really, really cool to see in the PTI rather than like every other player was Alexi. Everybody brought their pet decks, so that was so much fun. I played 7 different heroes: a Katsu, a Prism, a Lexi, a Bolton round 1, and I can't really remember the other ones. But anyways, The Lexi was a local player, so the only Lexi I got paired into during the PTI was a friend, a local, and I ended up taking that game actually. So that was the one Lexi win that I got over the weekend, but a little bittersweet since you know, it was a win against one of my friends. But anyways, PTI went a little bit better. Ended up picking up 3 games there, but had a lot of fun either way. So that was my experience. I have no regrets bringing Vynnset. It was a really cool experience going to my first big event, and that's about it. So, you know, I don't want to dwell on that too much, but that's my update. The next thing I wanted to discuss, I did have an opportunity to complete some Shadowbox altars that I'm going to be giving away on the channel. This one we're going to be pulling for today. This one has already been given away. So this one is owed to Josh, and I'm actually really stoked on how this one turned out. The background on this card looks unbelievable. The wings kind of fit with Prism's overall vibe. So this is maybe one of my favorite altars I've made. So this is going to be on its way to Josh. He was the last giveaway winner from box 1 of our case. So this is going to be in the mail on its way to you. Steve, who is the 100 subscriber giveaway winner, that has shipped. So that should be on its way to New Zealand. That Ira that I showed off last time. So that's on its way. This one's going to be sent shortly. And we're going to be drawing for this one today. This is probably my second favorite. I love this background in the back of Vincent. So we're going to be drawing for this young Vincent Shadowbox altar here today. And then we still have 2 other, one of them is still live. I think that one, I can't remember which one I said we were going to be giving away. But anyways, I'm going to be giving away this adult Vincent altar. This one I decided to get rid of the crown just to see, you know, keep it a little bit cleaner. I like how it turned out. So that one's going to be given away. And young Prism. This one has a really cool background and I think turned out quite well as well. So these are all going to be given away on the channel. One of them we already drew. This one we're going to draw today. These 2 are still up for grabs. So make sure if you're not subscribed already, make sure to subscribe and interact with those videos as they release. So I still need to post, I think, our last box opening from that case of Dust Till Dawn, hopefully before Bright Lights releases. So that should be posting shortly. So make sure you interact with those videos, like, comment, and be subscribed to the channel. So little update on my latest Shadowbox altars. I'm really happy with how these ones turned out. And Josh, this one's headed your way, and I'm really, really happy with it. I think it's quite cool. So I hope you like it as well. Lastly, we'll probably jump onto Talashar after this, but I wanted to give you guys an updated deck tech. So this is my current list, the list. I'm calling it my experimental build. These are all going to be linked, by the way. You can find them on Fabrary if you look up videos with associated YouTube videos or decks with associated videos. You should be able to find it in there. One of the links is going to be to my updated list. So as I reiterate and as I kind of try new things and find success with new things, that updated list is going to be my most up-to-date list. The other one I think was the pre-Nationals list. So this one is quite different from what I brought to Nationals. So let's run through some of the differences. So Crown, this has been a mainstay. Flail, still on Flail. I do have Scepter on my offhand now. I side in Grimoire. It's not just the default anymore. I do side it into certain matchups. If I need the AB, for example, or if I anticipate that I might need it. But Scepter is not a bad choice for your offhand as well. So Tessin, Scepter, Grimoire, you decide. Creepers has never changed either. And I'm still sort of pushing the Tunic plan. That one resource every 3 turns makes a huge difference. As I explained before, it allows you to basically keep a card. So I can go envelop without keeping a pitch into something. So Tunic feels really impactful. Any possible time I can run Tunic, if I feel like I can even remotely get away with it, I do it. Carapace is still on the list in case I really do need that extra block. But I try and run Tunic as much as possible. Grasp. So this is back in the list. This is a card that I talked myself out of. This is the conclusion that I've come to after running both pieces, Vexing Quillhand and Grasp of the Arcanite, a lot. Grasp feels very impactful early game. And the 3 additional life, like the 2 block and the 1 block, can be really important to get over breakpoints for Katsu and for Lexi. So that is something we can't ignore. Grasp also feels really impactful early game, as mentioned. So pitching a blue to Grasp to get that second rune chant, even on turn 0 for setup. You know, you banish a card for Vincent, make a rune chant, pitch a blue to this, allows you to filter your hand even further, and you end your turn 0 on 2 rune chants. That feels amazing. And, you know, the once in a while where you do need just that second rune chant to rune gate something out, you just need to hold a blue back, and Grasp will get you out of that bind. I start to miss Vexing Quillhand late game. So it's hard to evaluate them side by side because one of them feels good early game. Vexing, the way I used to play with it and the way I still play with it, it's still in the list, is I try to keep it as long as possible. I try to keep it until I'm really in a bind, until I really need to push damage, until I really need to swing tempo. So late game, pop Vexing to go too wide and really push damage, or pop Vexing to really unstick one of your hands in one of those turns where you just can't pass because you need to be pressuring their hand. So take it or leave it. And in this case, I'm just, Grasp is actually sort of my default, as you can see. I'll side in Vexing into super aggro matchups if I feel like I just need that killer instinct at the end if I'm trying to race or something. So I haven't quite settled on perfect sideboards for every matchup. I haven't quite settled on when I should be using one piece over the other. So lately I've just been running Grasp to see how it feels into different matchups, but Vexing is still in the list and it will likely come in into certain matchups. Okay, so I will keep you guys posted on that. On that note, why don't we look at the sideboard while we're down there? Nebula Blade is in the list. This is great into Dromai specifically. So into Dromai, I remove both Scepter and Flail, side in Nebula Blade, and this allows me to kill dragons. Kill bigger dragons with a swing. So ideally you can go non-attack with give go again, so a Mauve or a Shadow Puppetry. A big Rune Gate attack at face, and then follow it up with a Nebula Blade and take out their most bothersome dragon. Okay, so this is in the list. Grimoire still on the list. Ebonfold is great into this. Really, I'm kind of off Ebonfold in terms of a turn 0 play. You could still think about it and play around with it, but it's really just in the list for the Spell Void 2, which helps with the Icelander matchup, and Kano if you run into Kano. Carapace, as explained. So let's look at the core of the deck. I'm now at 52 card core. I side in 8. Deathly Delight is back in. I just felt like I needed... right now I'm trying to balance that. I'm trying to figure out how many blues I need. So right now I think I'm on 16 blues. And previously that was a higher number. So I pulled out some of the blue Phantom rates essentially to allow for some more power plays. So Deathly Delight, not great into Dromai. It doesn't pop. However, it's still like a 2 for 6. You can think about it as a 2 for 6. It's a 2 for 5 that likely gains you a life. So, and I just wanted more impactful 2 Rune Gates. If you feel like you need blues, Blue Phantom Wraith does a very similar job. For me, I'm just playing with some extra reds to see how it feels. Deathly Whale, nothing to see here. All 9, always, forever and always, amen. So anyways, Deathly Whale. Envelop in Darkness, I'm on the reds and the blues now. The yellows are completely out of the list because I have some different rune chant generating tech. So I don't need all 9 or all 8 or all 7 envelops anymore. I'm running the reds and the blues, and I'm running Blue Oath of the Arknight still. So that's my rune chant gen on a non-attack action. Funeral Moon. This card, I talked myself out of it. It's so hard to evaluate. At face value, it's a 0 for 1. That sounds really bad. However, the play lines that it facilitates makes it a 3 of. And I'm pretty settled on this. Thanks. A huge shout out, by the way, to everybody in the Vynnset Discord. I was able to get in there after Nats, and I wasn't really aware of it originally. So I got in there, had some discussions with people, everybody was like hard selling Funeral Moon. So, well, there must be something there. So I built this experimental list, tried it out, and they were right. Funeral Moon, very, very good. You can play it on opponent's turn if you need that extra rune chant. You can play it. So if you present Whale, for example, you have enough rune chants, you present Whale, Deathly Whale. You love to present Deathly Whale when you've taken damage. So you guarantee those 2 rune chants since both opponents have taken it. So if you present Whale and they choose to take a rune chant, great. You can play this in response or during the reaction phase or whenever. Take that life and it guarantees you 3 rune chants. This will generate you a rune chant, and when you close the chain, Deathly Whale will generate another 2. So you'll end on 3. If it has go again, you can present a second Whale if you've banked that, or do whatever other shenanigans you want to do. Anyways, there are so many situations where this comes up. The Shadow, like allowing you to lose that life and push unpreventable damage is impactful. Having another banished target is impactful. If I just don't have a rune gate card and I want to set up, I can banish this. It essentially makes me 2 rune chants, 1 on banish, 1 as I play it out. So I would encourage you, if you're trying Vynnset, to not sleep on this card. I definitely did. Try it out and see what those play lines feel like, because I promise it feels quite impactful. I'm still on 3 red mauves. I really don't think there's any way around this. Some people are off Mauvrian Skies, or these are in the sideboard. I really like it. It just forces cards out of your opponent's hand. They have to block it. There's no choice. If you present Mauve Skies, they're going to give you 2 cards and block out your attack, basically. 2 pummels still in the main board, so this hasn't changed. 2 reeds in the main board, the 3rd of each in the sideboard. I have my 3 Runeblood Incantation. Again, this is sort of a non-negotiable. 3 Shadow Puppetry. Again, sort of glue. The Shadow is impactful. The +1 is actually impactful. The Banish off the top can be, in fact, impactful. The Go Again, everything. So this is a great card. As mentioned, I'm on 1 blue Phantom Wraith now, 3 reds for those 2 cost Runegate cards. All of the widespreads, as usual: Widespread Ruin, Widespread Destruction, Widespread Annihilation, Ruin being probably the least impactful, but all of them quite good. Still on Dread Triptych. I do think it's still a fine card to play out from hand in those awkward turns. It can net you often at least 1, if not 2 rune chants, if you're really lucky 3. I think I've had it make 3 maybe once. As mentioned before, Oath of the Arknight, a blue that blocks for 3 and then makes us a rune chant, is exactly what we want. So pretty straightforward. The only significant changes from before: Grasp, Funeral Moon, Deathly Delight's back in. So that's pretty much it. You can play around with the list again. I'll try and remember to post it in the description of this video. If not, you can find it on Fabrary if you just look up Vynnset and filter for decks that have associated videos, and you should be able to find it. In the sideboard, also some new stuff. So sideboard looks quite different, actually. I'm still on Chains. Lexi is still one of our toughest matchups, so it's hard to ignore a piece that helps us in that matchup. So it's in here. Oblivion's in there for when so Oblivion in the side now for when I side in that 3rd Read the Runes. It then becomes maybe worthwhile, and you need Oblivion into like Bravo. So you run Oblivion into Bravo, into Guardian, into those decks that are really capable of turtling up to try and make your demon and present that on top of another attack potentially. So 3rd Read the Runes, if that goes in, Oblivion goes in, and against Bravo and other Guardians, it goes in as well. Pummel, my 3rd Pummel's in here. Putrid Stirrings. This is another one that I had talked myself out of, but the Bravo matchup felt unwinnable. On my previous list, I really, really struggled into the Bravo matchup and the Lexi matchup. Putrid Stirrings, if you don't mind taking some time to set up, get your thing straight, put it in Arsenal, banish it for hopefully only a turn, take a damage. It allows you to kind of go over the top of that wall that is called Bravo. Or, you know, if there are other Guardians or defensive type decks in your meta, Putrid Stirrings is something to consider for sure. not much else to say about that. Reduce your rune chant. I took it out of the main deck. It's now on the sideboard. It does go in if I'm at all considering blocking, Katsu, aggro. If I at all think I'm going to have to take a turn off at some point or need some setup, it's going to go in the deck. So most of the time it goes in the deck. It's not going to go in versus Icelander. Necessarily, there's an argument to be made that maybe I run the yellow ones into Icelander. But anyways, not going to go into Kano. So there are situations where it doesn't go in. For that reason, I relegated it to the sideboard, but it's often going in. As mentioned, now I'm on yellow reduce. This is essentially a 0 for 4. If you have a rune chant banked, which hopefully you do, and Funeral Moon, that's another great thing about Funeral Moon. Even just following up a Rune Gate card, if it has Go Again and you don't have any Rune Gate cards banked, you can just follow up with Funeral Moon and end the turn on one rune chant. That unlocks all your reduces and just greases the wheels. So yellow reduce essentially can be read as a 0 for 4. It blocks for 3, but it makes you a rune chant, so that's really, really good. I'm on 2 yellow Mavrian Skies. These often go in as well if I want to try and push aggro. Very good into Dromai Mav Skies because you can just swing into a dragon and get those rune chants. So 2 yellow Mav in the list, and I think that pretty much covers it. So I've had some really, really good results on this. My first 15, I tweaked it slightly since then, but my first 15 games on this deck, I won 13 of them. So I started off at a very, very high win percentage. Obviously, variance will take over at some point and help regulate things, but my results are still very promising. So my win rate overall, so I have 48 matches on this experimental build, which I've been shifting and changing a little bit, but I'm getting pretty settled in it. You know, I'll update you if things change. But my win rate overall, 56%, which is really good on a deck that's being considered sort of fringe. I think it's a pretty good success rate. I still have a much better win rate if I'm going first, 63%, which is insane, versus 44% if I'm going second. I think these will even out a little bit more. I think it's a little bit skewed right now. Or maybe this is signaling that I need to figure something out for when I'm going second. Maybe ebb and fold is the call, right? So maybe I need some tech that I sideboard in specifically for when I'm going second. I don't seem to have much issue when I'm going first. So maybe the game plan needs to change slightly to increase this number, but I think we're on to something here. So also, can I zoom in here? Yeah, I can. Beautiful. So we'll take a look at these matchups and a few things I just wanted to point out. Bravo. Bravo's now... why is it saying... Oh, that's still pointing at Azalea. Weird. Where's my Bravo? There's Bravo. 4 wins and 4 losses. So, I don't know why. It's weird because I'm zoomed in, but that's fine. It's about a 50-50 now. Bravo now feels winnable, okay? So, that is a huge win. I'm just going to stop hovering over things. That's a huge win because Bravo, very prevalent in the meta right now. We'll see what happens. Lexi's likely on her way out in the next little while. Icelander is threatening to LL as well. So if Bravo becomes top dog, maybe we tech even further into that matchup. But Bravo now feels winnable where it didn't before. So that's a huge win. One of the top dogs now beatable. Lexi also feels winnable. I'm not going to tell you that it's an easy matchup. It's very difficult, but it feels better than it did before. So that's another huge win. As you can see, I have pretty good success. I don't think this is a good representation of Dromai. I've only had a couple matchups into Dromai, and that matchup is not terrible, especially with Nebula Blade. If you play it correctly, it's not the easiest matchup. It's very winnable, so I don't have much data points on that, but it's not what it looks like with all the red. It's winnable. The one con, the one matchup where I've taken a bit of a hit is Icelander. Icelander felt almost free in my previous build. So think about that. If Icelander is a big concern to you, maybe take a look at my previous list. I had some really, really good results into Icelander. But for me, it's a bigger win to get good results into Bravo and Lexi. But Icelander, so we're suffering a little bit. It is winnable. You gotta play it well. I think it has to do with the lower volume of blues. If I side in all of the blues from our sideboard now, I think I'm at 20 blues, which is still pretty good. And I have the yellows as well. Plus the Spell Void, so I don't think it's a terrible matchup, but I think we did take a bit of a hit into that matchup. So keep that in mind if that's something you're concerned about. Kano, that pretty easy matchup, I would say. Katsu's tough, but Katsu's tough for everybody. But winnable, as you can see, right? So overall, I think these results are telling. Uzuri is also not an easy matchup, but we're getting good results on that. Apparently, I'm not very good with the mirror match, but hey, what is there to say? So anyways, I'm feeling that the deck feels really good. I'm getting good results where I think I need to see good results in those against those top dog decks. So I'm quite happy. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys try out your own version of Vynnset. Try some of these pieces that, learn from my mistakes. Try some of these pieces that I originally dismissed. I think they're very much worthwhile. But yeah, I have a few leftover Dusk Till Dawn packs that we're going to crack into here as we wait for some Talashar matchups. I'm interrupting because I almost forgot to pick a winner for the last giveaway. So this is for young Vincent. I'll show it off again. So this is going to be going off to one lucky subscriber who interacted with that video and commented and told me about some spicy tech for Vincent. Okay, so 11 comments. Hey, pretty good odds. So make sure you're interacting with these videos. Pretty good odds. So pick a winner. Gary, congratulations, man. I'm pretty sure I sent, I don't know if you've won in the past. I'm pretty sure I did send you something in the past. So I might have your info already. I'll look that up. But hey, congratulations. I saw someone playing Reduced to Rune Chant. Thought that was super spicy. I agree. Reduced to Rune Chant, just at face value, amazing card, right? 0 for 5 essentially at red. Or a 1 for 5. It still makes your Rune Chant blocks for 4. I agree, 100%. Very spicy. So Gary, congrats. I do hope you are stoked on Vynnset as much as I am. This is headed your way. If I don't have your info, I'm like almost sure I do. If I don't, shoot me an email, get me your address, get me your information, and this will be on its way to you. So thanks as always, Gary. Nice to see a familiar name. So thank you very much for watching. Okay, back to Talashar. So let's find a game. I always ask for meta because I want to test Vynnset against the meta decks. And while we wait, let's open a pack. So as you saw, only 11 comments on that last one. So good reason to subscribe now, interact with the videos, get in on those giveaways for custom altars, Searing Ray, Cleansing Light, and another rare. Still waiting on an opponent. I think we got a couple Majestics from this box already. I've just been opening it slowly as we've jumped on Talashar here. It's always weird to see the tokens in the middle of the pack somewhere. Ooh, Majestic. Slithering Shadowpeed. Oh yeah, I've seen this in Levia. Still no opponent. Let's keep opening then. I'd like to hear from you guys about how Vynnset has been treating you as well. If you're trying the deck out, if you've been having success, if you have any suggestions. Tribute to Demolition Foil. Ooh, okay. Extended Art Herald. Those are always nice. Nice little consolation. Oh, we have an opponent. Dash. So, I'm going to stick with the regular stuff. There's an argument to be made to run Carapace here. I am likely to do some blocking in this matchup. So I think we might just run it like this. I don't think I want the extra stuff, so we'll see how that goes. I'll try and talk through some plays. Sometimes it's difficult. I always love to see Shadow Puppetry and Deathly Wail in a hand. We are going second here, so we'll see. So they're just going to do some setup. So I kind of auto just pop Deathly Wail. This is just going to be a setup turn, I think. We could just present Phantom here because they kind of set up. So I think we just want to set up. We're probably going to pay for it here off the heels of a Tekla Pounder, but I feel like they're just going to take damage anyways. This might be wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. We're just going to take a setup turn, end on 2 Rune Chants, put this Shadow Puppetry. It's going to allow us to do some pretty cool stuff. Also drew into 2 Reduce, which I'm not angry at all. So we'll banish this at the beginning of our turn. That'll allow us to go 2 wide next turn. We just have to hope that they don't go super crazy here. So this is just a 6 go again. I don't know if we care. I might just give them this reduce. We'll hold this one back in case they present a more relevant on hit. This will make us our 3rd rune chant, and we'll only take 3, which we're fine with. High speed impact. So for 4, if this hits, next attack gains dominate. So this one is probably worth a block. I don't know what they're going to be following it up with. So we'll give them reduce here. Dodge that on hit. Reduce red. Pistol. We're good with that. So we'll just take the pistol hit. That's fine. Awesome. So that wasn't too bad at all. I feel good about our original decision. So we're going to banish Phantom Wraith here. Tunic's going to be at 1 next turn, so I'm really happy to end our turn with an Envelop in Arsenal. But for now, we are going to Shadow Puppetry, which we're always going to take the life for if we're going to be presenting Whale. This is a guaranteed 2 rune chance when I close the chain, which is going to open up Phantom Wraith in this case. So we're going to present Whale for 5 rune chance and 6, so 11, and we're going to follow that up with another 8. So 19 damage this turn is pretty good. And Dash is not going to be super excited about blocking this stuff, so we might get to take a look at what's on top of our deck as well if they let this hit. They're already giving us equipment, which is a great sign. They're hesitating to give us, they probably won't give us 2 cards from hand, but maybe. Well, they've changed their mind. They are more afraid of the on hit, but that was fine. We got some good value there. We're going to close the chain and present a Phantom Wraith. With the Envelop in Arsenal, it's still going to allow us to easily rune gate out, and they're just going to take this whole thing. Go to 27, which is great. So this Envelop is going to be free with the Tunic resource. It's going to, oh, and we have a second one, so we can easily present a Whale. So we can actually just hold on to the Tunic resource. I'm happy to give them the second Whale. This is just a 4, though. Do we want to end with a Whale in our arsenal? I think that might be okay. I think we're okay to just take this. That might be wrong. You could just block with Whale here. I think I'm just getting a bit greedy. Oh yeah, Pounder only triggers if you've boosted. Right. Okay. So we're banished one of the Whales. This is kind of a autopilot turn. I am not going to use the Tunic resource because we're going to have to pitch for one of the Envelops anyways. We'll take the life from the first one, and clearly we won't from the second one. This gets us to 3, and this is going to be +6, so it's going to be for 3 and 12, and we're going to end with 2 rune chance once again. There's an argument to be made to hold this in hand, which I might actually do. I don't know if I want an arsenal, because as we end on 2 rune chants, they're just going to take it to 12. Wow. Cool. I'm not going to arsenal it. I'm happy to hold on to it because next turn we can give them literally the rest of our hand and still present Whale. So they're going to try and hit us back harder, which is going to be challenging. Our Tunic resource can represent a free Runeblood incantation, which is also fun. So I think we're good giving them Wraith because we're going to banish Whale. That'll get us to 3 right away. We can also block with Funeral Moon in this case. Or if they don't present anything scary enough. Is that 2? Yeah, they played double High Speed Impact. Or whatever the hell it's called. High Octane. So what does this do again? Whenever you boost, gain an action point. So you have all of the action points. This is for 10. It's a vanilla 10. But 10 is still a big number. There's no way we block this out. I think we just take it, go to 18. This is just a race. It's turning into a race. And see what they followed up with. 0 to 63. We might as well just give them 3. Happy to give them Phantom Wraith. We'll hold on to Funeral Moon until we know we need to block with it. And if they're just presenting pistol, or no, they're loading pistol, and then shooting it. We have 2 float, but this doesn't have go again, does it? Oh, it does. Or maybe it doesn't. No, okay. I'll just give them Grasp here. We're not too worried about on hits right now. I could just take it. I don't know. That's probably a mistake. We probably just hold on to Grasp for when we are trying to get over an on hit, but that's okay. I think I hold on to Moon in case they decide to take some rune chants, which they have been doing. Oh, they have all the action points. That's why. Right, they have like 3 action points. We'll just take this. And anything else? Another pistol. Still 3 action points. They're going to run out of resources at some point, though. We'll take that one, too. Why not? Alrighty. So, Banish. We still have the tempo here. We're going to use the Tunic resource for a nice setup card. Then going to present Whale. And if they take this first rune chant, we're going to play Funeral Moon out. I mean, they're probably not going to want to block the second rune chant, but that can make it awkward for them if they were planning on doing that. And we guarantee 2 rune chants on the back end here. And they're still going to take 2. They're giving us some equipment, though. So it is going to be a bit scary, them with a 5-card hand here. But not much we can do about that. So they're at 7. And we drew into a bit of a clunker. We can try and fix with Crown. So, if this hits, +3 on the next thing. So we don't want that to hit. We're not going to see Tunic again, so I think I'm good giving them this. I kind of want to keep one of the pummels. If we give them this and crown away one of the pummels, there's a world where we are in really good shape. So we're going to crown one of the pummels away. Nope. Not good. And so now I regret giving them the blue. We're going to have a setup turn, which doesn't feel great. We can maybe Scepter. I think we're just going to give them a lot of cards. We might just give them, like they've blown through their Pounder now. This is not ideal. I don't know if we, like, Pummel and Arsenal is not really going to do much for us at this late in the game, because it's unlikely that we'll be able to hold on to like 3 cards or whatever it's going to require. At least 2 cards, I guess, if we Arsenal it. Pretty unlikely, so I think we're just giving them our hand here. Yeah, I regret blocking with the blue. We would have still had to keep 3 in hand, though. Just talking to myself at this point, but anyways, going downhill a little bit, but we can still come back from this. Do we want to just give them 2? We already have, yeah, we don't care to keep this. So we're just going to hope that they have a bit of a slower turn next time. I don't care to present Flail yet. I want to hold on to our Rune Chance. We'll see what they have this turn. We don't have to worry about Pounder anymore. This is just a vanilla 4. What do we want to... Probably pressuring hand is most impactful. I do wish I had the Pummel, but it would have required us to keep 2 cards in hand, which probably wouldn't have worked out. I think we're happy to give them Widespread Rune, but I think we just take this 4 and see what they follow it up with. T-Bone, so we'll just give them Grasp, and take the 1, I guess. High Speed Impact. 4 on hit Dominate. They only have 1 float, but we're going to give them cards anyways. So I think we just give them this. They're low enough life total that like 6 and 6 is going to be very rough for them anyways. So I think we're actually in decent shape. Oh yeah, I'm really glad we didn't give them Dominate. That would have been game ending. So we'll give them 5, take 5 to 3, and we still swing back for 12, which is okay. We're not super comfortable at 3, but they're going to be taking some damage here, unless they have 2 blues and they give us their hand, and then we're still feeling okay. We do still have Runeblight Incantation, so they just auto go to 1, which is a dangerous life total against Vynnset, but see what they can do with 2-card hand. Probably a decent amount. We just need to make 1 unpreventable damage at this point, but we'll see what we can... Okay, we have a nice... Well, why did they just pass? Either way, we can't push unpreventable, unfortunately. So... Yeah, I think we just present this. This would cost our whole hand. But I would like to keep this in arsenal if possible. I really wish we could just push unpreventable, then we wouldn't have to think so hard about it. But I think the play is just Ruin. And then we'll have a good blockable hand. They're still going to have to give us like 3 cards here. So they're in a death spiral, I think. This wasn't the best time to draw into these reduces, but it's not the end of the world either. So we're gonna arsenal that. Oh no. Well, we have very blockable hand. This is gonna be this doesn't really represent our unblockable damage, unfortunately, because if we had Grimoire and a blue, we could pull it off, but this doesn't have Go Again. We don't have Creepers, so... Oh, stop passing. Oh, they just... Okay. They conceded to us. They saw the writing on the wall. We did draw into a few clunkers at the end there, but we got there anyways. So let's queue it up and look for another opponent. And while we wait, open a couple more packs. There's only a few left in the box. See if the box has more to give. Made a mess of the piles, but that's okay. We'll fix them later. Is that our foil? No. This is our foil. Cool. Oh. We are cursed. Our case had 2 cold foil Scepter of Pain. This is my 3rd cold foil Scepter of Pain. And I feel the pain. Dust Till Dawn is just trolling us at this point. It's a cold foil, but it's not the one we want. Oh well. I mean, I was happy the first time I pulled it. Now the 3rd time in 5 boxes, not super thrilled. Yeah, we're getting trolled by Dust Till Dawn. Still waiting on an opponent. Let's see what the box has left. 2 packs left in the box. That's just too funny. But it's like salt in the wound. had like a pretty rough experience with Dust Till Dawn, to tell you the truth. Yeah, it's been a bit rough. No opponent yet. Last pack. Let's clean up a bit. Okay. What do we got? Last pack. Last pack. Marvel, right? Must be. Majestic. Beckoning Light. Okay. Well, I don't know. Dust Till Dawn was not a great set for me. But you win some, you lose some. I had some very, very spicy boxes early on, and then it just went downhill after my case. We have a Dromai. This is going to be really, really interesting. So let's see if we can get there against a Dromai. Nebula Blade. We're good with the rest of the pieces here. We side in the yellow mobs. We side in... We're good to side in these. Because blocking a Kyloria or something. I think we go... I don't know if I want Oblivion in this matchup, but I think that's what we're going to try. Because this Putrid Stirrings has felt really bad against Dromai, so that doesn't go in. Chains doesn't go in. So the only other option is Yellow Mauve, or Yellow Rune Reduce, which I don't think is... I mean, it's not bad. You could try Yellow Reduce in this matchup, but pretty happy with the decisions we made. Okay, this is turn 0, so we can just filter a little bit. Again, I love to see red Deathly Whale. So we'll give them the blue Deathly here. And that leaves us with 3 poppers in case they're going to throw a dragon at us. I highly doubt it. Okay, beautiful. Shadow Puppetry Deathly, my favorite combination. We're going to do the old 1-2. Banish a Deathly, activate Grasp. We're going to take a bit of our own setup turn. This is the same hand we started on last time. I don't think we care to present much else. They're also just kind of setting up. So I think we're just going to pass and shove that Shadow Puppetry in Arsenal again. So this is a Deja Vu. Okay, Necria. And we still have a Popper that we're happy to give up. So, okay, Dromai. I think we just pop Dromai. Because either way, it's going to be a problem for us. Or there's an argument to be made that Dromai is easier to deal with. Okay, let's think about it. On our turn, if I block this out, let's say, without a popper, and I give them this, on our turn, I kind of want to keep this. No, we can't get greedy. On our turn, we go Shadow Puppetry, Deathly Whale, Nebula Blade into Dromai, maybe, is the play. So maybe we want to pop... maybe we want to pop Necria. So on this, I feel like... I wouldn't mind banking another Deathly Whale, so maybe we just give them... Maybe we just give them Blue Envelop here. It's less impactful, and then we just take 1. And then they feel comfortable swinging Necria. We pop Necria so that we don't have to deal with their shenanigans. And we see what else they do. We pitched a Mira guy. Okay, so now we're just going to bank a second Deathly. We're only going to swing 1 here. Oh, that's annoying. Passing Mirage. So, bank a Deathly. I think we go Shadow Puppetry Deathly. And then we'll shove the Mauve Skies in there for now. So let's go Shadow Puppetry. We're going to take the damage. So we want to guarantee our 2 rune chance. This is going to face. We still have Passing Mirage to deal with, but they're not going to have any dragons. They're going to have to rebuild. Unless they can take a bunch of damage here and rebuild fairly easily, but we'll see what they want to do. I feel like they're probably going to want to give us a couple cards. They're going to give us some nice dragons, so I'm happy to see that. This is still going to hit. We'll get to take a look at the top of our deck. We got to be careful a little bit with the volume of rune chant cards. We definitely don't want to banish a Runeblood incantation. Yeah, so we'll just poke Dromai with the Nebula stick. This will come in for 4. It will net us a rune chant, and when we close the chain, we'll end on 3, which is great. Holy setup turn, Batman. No matter what, we still have our banked Deathly Whale, so I'm glad I made that decision. We don't have a popper for Yenderai here, but we're happy to just give them Reduce, which will net us another rune chant token, which is a W. As for the banish, it's a little awkward. We're going to get 1 free Reduce off of Tunic. I think I prefer to have the Shadow Puppetry and Arsenal, so... Or we could do the old Shadow Puppetry Deathly again. So I'm going to banish one of the Reduces either way. I'm just going to think about it for 2 seconds, but I think it's a no-brainer. We go Tunic into Runeblood. The question is, so Yenderai we're going to have to pop. We can probably get rid of Passing Mirage here. So maybe we're not going to have enough resources to swing Blade after, though. This is where Flail would help, but it's kind of fine. So then do we just throw Whale at face? Probably. Yep, let's do that. Passing Mirage hurts. If I had Whale, it'd be a no-brainer. You go Shadow Puppetry, don't even need to take the life. Deathly followed up with Whale to Passing Mirage. But I do think Nebula Blade, I mean, we'll track it. So we'll see if there's other situations where we kind of wish we had Flail, maybe Nebula Blade's not the best call. I mean, Yenderai is just tough to deal with anyways, so. And we'll bank this Shadow Puppetry and see what we got. We have 1 popper. Their first dragon's not going to have Phantasm, so that's going to be Yenderai. So our next turn is going to be a setup turn again, because we're probably going to give them the popper here. We have to get rid of Uvia if they swing with it. It can get out of control. So I'm happy to play out Reed. I think we just take the 3. And crowd control. Oh, yeah. Well, they only have 1 Ashwing from Uvia, right? They're not going to swing Uvia. Yeah. So that's all right. It'll allow us to set up a little bit. So we can poke Passing Mirage. Or we can make a buttload of rune chants. I think it's important to poke Passing. Yeah. We gotta keep their board in check, no matter how bad it feels sometimes. We did some good setup here. It's a little unfortunate that I wasn't able to play out Read the Ruins, so we should have maybe thought about our game plan a little bit more. I'm trying to play fast. I don't want the games to last forever. We drew into another really awkward one. So they're going to take a look at our hand. Is it a banish? No. It's a discard. What does this card do? Put that card on the bottom of deck, so it's neither. So we can't pop you, and you know we can't pop you, so we're in a bit of trouble. This is getting out of control. So Dromai feels okay when you draw into your poppers, clearly. We've drawn into we've gone 2 turns without any poppers. We have 1, 2 in graveyard. And we banished a 3rd. So we really haven't seen very many of our poppers. It's just bad luck. On our turn, we are just going to make a bunch of root chants. So we can banish one. Let's give them a read, I guess. I don't know. We could. Oh, that's an idea. Crown away shadow puppetry and see if we can draw into a popper. And they won't know. That's probably what I should have done here. Okay, it took a little while. Uvia, 4-1. Let's see if we can do the thing. We did it. Yeah, I should have done that earlier because then we would have popped Uvia. Sigil. Yep. So we can still kill Uvia, which is good. Yeah, this turned out to be okay actually. Because we're going to Mauve Skies. We're going to Phantom Wraith into Uvia, which will net us another 3 on the back end. And then we can just make another 3 and go to 6, which is pretty cool. So a little crowd control. If we had 2, no, it wouldn't even make a difference. So good. And then we make 3 more. And we pass. So we're going to start the next turn on 9 rune chance potentially, which is not bad. Like, we're in a decent spot. I don't want to arsenal this in case it's our only popper. No, we drew into another one. So that's fine. Kyloria. You have to swing, right? Do we just pop an Ashwing if they present Ashwing? I struggle with this. When they present Ashwing, so the thing is, like, do we take 2 damage in order to get a high value target? And I tend to lean greedy and do that, but we could also just end the onslaught here. I'm gonna get greedy. Let's take the Ashwings. They might just end it there, honestly, which is why maybe this is wrong. No, so we're going to give them Phantom Wraith on Kyloria. Pop that, end their turn. So I don't know. I don't know if that's correct. You guys let me know if that's correct or not. If you tend to get greedy here, try and get a high value target and take a bit of damage. I don't know if it's right or not. So I don't think we quite have enough to do. So I was thinking we have a crazy amount. So we're going to present Widespread Annihilation no matter what at the front end. We could then Creepers Envelop. We will only have 1 rune chant though. And to make a second, we would need 3 resources. So I'm 1 resource. If this was a blue, no, we're still missing a little bit. If we Creepers and Envelop, we're still missing 1 for Nebula as well. So do we just Envelop then? I think so. Let's just try and push raw damage here. So we'll Envelop. We don't well, if we pay a life, we could banish this, which is not terrible. You know what? Let's try it. We'll push 1 Unpreventable, and then this will be banished at the end of our turn. So this is for 10, right? And 9, which is crazy, 19. So they're not going to be able to deal with all these rune chants. They're going to be taking a bunch of damage here, for sure. They're going to lose a card from hand. It's a pretty impactful turn. This will get banished from our hand, which we're kind of cool with. We'll see if we draw into some rune chant gen. We just need to draw into 1 rune chant gen, and then we can have a pretty nice turn next turn. So they're going to give us most of their hand. They're going to take an additional... Nope, they're going to sink, but they're going to lose their one of their cards. So that's fine. And then I think we're happy just passing. And yeah, so our Deathly Well gets banished for us. They banished a Sigil, which is, I guess they really wanted to keep this as will I. We drew into no poppers, which is a bit of an issue. Yeah. But it is what it is. We did draw into some rune chant gen. So Blue plus envelop plus pummel is really nice. I'm tempted to keep this whole hand. I hope, there's a world where they get squirrely and not present a big dragon following up these Ashwings, but they probably will. So this is 3 on Yenderai. No? As will I. So we'll take it. Yeah, take the 2. Are they going to hold Yenderai back? No. They've called our bluff. So all good. We took some damage. We're going to banish this. We're going to envelop. Pitching widespread. Yeah. Let's take it. We do have to start keeping an eye on our life total. This is not free anymore, but we're going to just try and push some serious damage to face. And again, hope that if we can drop it into our poppers, we stifle their turns. And if we can keep doing this on our turns, then we're in good shape. We are keeping life parity right now. This can get out of control in either way, and it just depends on how well we draw. So this is for 8 off of envelop with the +3. +4 is 12. There's a world where they might have a sink here, but we just have to risk it. It's pretty punishing if they don't have a sink. They don't, which is good. So they're going to lose one of their cards. That kind of stifles their plan. We end on 2 rune chance, which we're happy about. And we draw into no poppers. So the Deathly Delight hurts here for sure, but like the blue Phantom Wraith is not going to help in that case either. So do you side in CNCs? Maybe. I don't know. But this is starting to hurt, like the lack of poppers. So we're going to give them cards. Probably going to swing into Asvalai with our first thing. So we got to hold back a Mauve Skies. And we have 2 rune. I don't want to get in a situation where we have too many. I don't know. We're getting greedy again. We're probably going to have to give them another card here. We really need to draw into our poppers. It's becoming an issue for sure. Give them grasp on that one. So I'm tempted. I could give them Deathly Delight, banish this, and then we empty our banish. Because we're going to go Mauve Skies, Deathly, into Widespread or something like that. Deathly at Asvalai. The question is, do I want to bank another Deathly? And I think at this point we care more about our life total, so I'm just going to give it to them. We have to draw into poppers next turn because we've gone too long without seeing them. So we're going to go Mauve Skies. We're going to go Deathly at Asvalai. We really need to just pop Yenderai. It's been such an issue. Yenderai is tough. They're going to start blocking Rune Chance, so they're starting to feel the pinch as well. We're not in like the best of situations, but if we can start seeing our poppers, we can for sure turn this around. So it's really going to come down to that. But I think you can see how the game, like this matchup, is not terrible. We're also in a position where maybe we have to think about popping the Ashwings as they present them. Widespread Rune is going to go to your face. Here's 3 and 6. So at 12, they can't ignore this either. So they're likely going to have to give us cards. We just need to draw into poppers. They're going to give us another blue here to block these Rune Chants. It's another good reason to keep their Ashwings in check. I don't think they have a B. Oh, they do on Stilettos. So you have his crown here. Are they going to take 4 to 8? Or are they going to sink? They're going to sink. Okay. That's okay. So, poppers. Come on. Big money. We got 1. We got 2. We got 2. We have no Rune Chance banked. We have a Funeral Moon. They present Yenderai first. So we're going to have... Ooh, this is actually kind of nice. We give them Deathly. We finally get rid of their Yenderai. Okay, so now we have an opportunity to maybe turn this around a little bit. We're going to go this. We're going to do this. We're going to do this. We don't care to take the life at this point. And we are going to present the Widespread to face. This represents potentially Rune Chant Gen on opponent's turn, depending on what we draw into. This is 9, so they're likely going to give us 3 cards. Or, well, we'll see. They might have something spicy in hand. They have to set up, they have to rebuild their dragon, so they are going to go to 4. They've taken damage, so we can either play this out at instant speeds or we can just arsenal it. I think I'm happy to play it out in instant speeds in case we draw into reduce. Either way, we don't really need to hold on to it, so I think that's good. Yeah, there we go. Good call. And we have a Pauper. Let's see what we need to do about the Pauper, because I wouldn't mind holding it back. It allows us to present some damage. I wish this was a blue or a yellow, because then we could pummel to maybe close the game out. But instead, we have to see if we can get there the old-fashioned way. Burn them all. That's puts us on a bit of a clock. The question is, I need to keep pressure, but we also need to deal with these Ashwings. Okay, we have to try and keep pressure on, I think, is what I've decided. I don't know. It might be wrong. But if we give them Widespread, we don't do anything on our turn, which is not like a great option either. So I want this in Arsenal. There's a world where it's impactful and where it closes out the game. So we're going to give some equipment pieces. I think we're beyond Creeper's point where that's going to be impactful. I'm going to give them Reed. And we might just take one. Okay, I have no reactions. Carry on, please. Okay, easy. Banish, present this. Gives them something else they need to deal with. They're at 4. If they don't draw into a blue, that's very awkward for them. No, they did. And then that's still another 6, so what are they going to do? Give us 2 cards, probably. I'm going to Arsenal the Pummel and hope that we draw into 2 Rune Gate cards, one being a Pauper. And they're going to react, or double react. Fate. And they're going to go to 2 Seekers. So that prevents 1. They'll go to 3. Yeah. Banished a Passing Mirage off the top. So we're going to Arsenal this Pummel. It might be able to close the game out for us. Not with this hand. Not with this hand. Ugh. Where are our Paupers when we need them? I mean, we saw quite a few, to be fair. Best case, we present Dread Triptych. They're going to give us 4 Ashwings here. This is getting bad. Okay, here's Tunic. We'll take that one. So, banish Funeral Moon, present Dread Triptych. That would require us to keep... Yeah, he's not going to let us keep that many cards. I have to block out this Kyloria, which means I have to give them 2 cards. And we're probably just swinging Nebula Blade at an Ashwing, which maybe we should be happy with. So have a Mauve Skies. They're going to see the writing on the wall here. We'll take that one. No, I'm going to have to give them 2 cards on Kyloria. Yeah. So all we're going to do is make a rune chant on our turn. Yeah. Make 2, at least. That's something. And then hope we draw into our poppers. It's really our only chance right now. Nope. I wonder how many poppers we have left in the deck. We must have some. So at least we have reduce, but do we need to keep reduce for Kyloria? I don't know. We'll get the value out of it. I think we're dead, unfortunately. Yeah. Oh, not good. Yeah, GG's, GG's, GG's. We just didn't, it came down to not drawing into the poppers. Asvalai just closes the game out, doesn't it? Why are you... Did he already swing with Asvalai? No, he didn't. He just needs to swing with Asvalai and I die, right? He's just toying with his food. Anyways, that was a good game. It was very close. It comes down to whether you're drawing your poppers at the right time. So, GG's for sure. Take what you will from that. If you're uncomfortable with that amount of variance, there are ways of making this matchup better. You could think about your sideboards. I probably didn't play it super optimally either. You know, I could have saved some life here and there by just blocking out the Ashwings, stifling their turn early. I got a little greedy here and there, but honestly, if we see our poppers when we need to see them, you could think about siding in, what's that? Runic Reclamation. If you want to keep it Rune Blade or CNC. If you can find room in the sideboard. So if you're up against a lot of Dromais, and Dromai might actually be top dog here, moving into the new meta. So maybe some considerations to be made there. I do think it's a winnable matchup. I think we just had some sort of unfortunate draws. And as you saw, we got them down pretty low. We just needed one more swing turn, and it didn't come when we needed it. So that happens. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the video for today. I know it's a bit of a longer one. Let me know if you like the gameplay footage. We covered a lot of ground today. So anyways, thanks so much for watching, and we'll chat again soon, okay? Cheers, everybody.